Joining me now is Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat of Massachusetts. According to NBC exit polls in New Jersey, 32% of voters said the economy is the most important issue. 7% said immigration. 16% said healthcare. 35% taxes. Only 3% said crime. That's the sort of top line here. What is your reaction to what happened last night?
Well, woohoo! But it's that you've got this right. There's a big pushback against Donald Trump. But look at the other half, and that is the message that the Democrats ran on. What Zoran ran on, what Abigail ran on, what Mikey ran on was affordability, affordability, affordability. They were out there talking about what's happening to American families right now in Donald Trump's economy, how people are smashed against the wall, and they committed that they are in the fight to turn that around, to be part of a state government, to be part of a city that says we're not here just to make government work for a handful of billionaires. We're here to make government work for working people. And a lot of people heard that and said, I'm with you on this.
How much does that message matter over and above the kind of structural backlash, right? Like, how are you thinking about this in terms of, we have this term thermostatic public opinion, right? And we've seen it for all the years that I've covered, particularly that Virginia race, right? Democrat in the White House, Republicans probably favored in that race a year later. Republican in the White House, the Democrats probably favored, right? We kind of know the way this goes. Over and above that, what did you see last night from Democrats that says what's happening is more than just the normal swings of the way the electorate works?
So I see this as how it is that someone like Mikey Sherrill, whom I like very much, but is a very different flavor than Zoran Mamdani, basically both ran on the same message. Stop and think about that for just a minute. Mikey and I were co-sponsors on the bill for universal child care. I went and campaigned with Zoran on universal child care because both of them were saying, we understand what's happening to American families. We understand how life is just not livable in a world that is all about tax breaks for billionaires and not making the investments in our families, in our children, not making investments in transportation or bringing down the cost of utilities. That these were candidates who said, I have very specific plans. I'm going to be in the fight to bring down costs for you. And what that does is that helps us really, as Democrats, get to a place where we deliver. We do things that are measurable. We're not just not Donald Trump, which, believe me, that is enough. That's enough to motivate a lot of people to go to the polls. But it's beyond that. And the point is, it's sustainable over time, Chris. It's how you build something out of New York City and out of Virginia and out of New Jersey. It's how you build something out of all parts of the country to say that we get it. The cost of utilities is up 11% since Donald Trump got into office. Cost of groceries is up. Cost of housing is up. And Republicans are deliberately trying to push the cost of health care. I mean, how do you describe it? Through the stratosphere. People are watching their health insurance rates double and triple. And what I felt last night is this kind of joining together among Democrats in how we're in this fight. I'm here in the Senate where Democrats are holding out, saying that we're not going to sign off to a Republican budget that takes away health care from tens of millions of people. We're in this fight to help get those health care costs under control, to bring them down for working families. And I think that's kind of the heart of what it means to be a Democrat.
It's interesting you mentioned the utilities because, one of the things that's interesting over the course of, years of covering politics and for you being in politics, right, is issue salience goes up and down, right? There's issues. I remember, in 2004, there was a whole bunch of same-sex marriage ballot initiatives, right? That was a hugely salient issue for people. Now, it's not really a thing that we have huge fights about, right? We have fights about other stuff. The electricity cost, the cost of energy and electricity and utilities particularly, it was notable to me they were present in both those campaigns statewide, that they were talked about in the speeches last night, that is something, again, you want to be as a politician responding and out ahead of new issues, right? And it was very notable to me that that is a new issue on the issue plate in front of people that people are really feeling.
Right. And the reason for that is partly just the numbers. People are getting their electricity bills and saying, whoa, what's happened here? But it's also because power bills, electricity bills aren't up, just because of like gravity or the sun quit shining or whatever. No, they are up because Donald Trump has been working aggressively for 10 months to take as much clean energy offline, to shut down clean energy projects, renewable energy that were bringing down the cost of electricity. So once again, here are Donald Trump's own policies pushing up costs for families. Same way he does for tariffs. He's out there playing tariff chaos, and part of tariff chaos is driving up costs again for families. So now it costs more to build a new house or to build a new apartment building. All of those things are why it is that people are saying Donald Trump cannot be trusted to manage this economy. And at the same time, Democrats are standing up and, again, not just saying we're not Donald Trump, they're saying here are our plans, here's what we're going to deliver, here's what we're in the fight for. And I think people like that a lot.
Yeah, and it'll be very interesting to see the approval rating on those issues 6 months from now, a year, for all three of the executives who were elected last night and are going to have to deliver now. Senator Elizabeth Warren, as always, thanks for your time.
Good to see you.